What up? This is Landon Sworts, theepicstorm.com, and we are back with another Legacy League on Magic Online. Alright, cool, so let's go over the list and then we'll jump into the video. So, right after Jataxian Probe was banned, this is a main deck configuration that was given a little bit of play, but I haven't revisited this since the London Mulligan. I am trying the list right here with no Mox Opal, just to see how the deck feels if it's a little less high variance. I'm only playing 2 Empty the Warrens in the sideboard. We'll see how that goes. It could be 3. I've kind of wanted the 3rd Hope of Ghirapur lately. So I'm just running that today. We won the die roll, so we're going to be on the play, which is nice. Just letting you guys take one more look at the sideboard, just in case you didn't get a good look at it. Basically, the only difference between this and like more standard like 2 Mox Opal list is the 2 Preordain. So let's see, this initial opener. I don't exactly like this. Because of 2 Chrome Mox, this hand is essentially like a 5-card hand, so I think it's pretty reasonable that we could see a better 6. This hand could get there. Let's see. I think we're going to bottom the Chrome Mox. Okay, so the opponent plays Basic Island and Cat's Ponder. Lotus Petal's not a bad draw. Opponent chose to shuffle with Ponder, just note that. Let's grab Underground Sea and Infernal Tutor for another copy of Rite of Flame. Opponent moves into their main phase. Brainstorm with a fetch land up. Think what's in their hand is not what they want, just by the shuffle of the Ponder. So we'll see where Brainstorm takes us. Okay, so they don't have a second spell. So they move to their cleanup, passing the turn. Well, we don't have any disruption, but I say we try anyways. We can beat a Spell Pierce and a Daze, so that's something. Hopefully this is a Brainstorm. It is. See if they find force. They might. They really could. I don't think we want to sit around and give them more and more turns to cantrip, though. We could just draw into discard, but we could try this, and then if it doesn't work, we take a different line later. We're currently under no pressure. And would you look at that? We got through, so we begin to flip. So the opponent had no disruption, so we got a little lucky, but I'm fine with a little luck. Our opponents certainly get lucky sometimes, so we deserve 2-2. Throw Thoughtseize, so we get a look at their hand. Okay, so they're on show and tell. Well, I'm glad we went when we did, considering Narset finds a lot of things, Cunning Wish finds a lot of things. Although it's possible they would have just played show and tell next turn and dropped Emrakul, which we could have beat, considering they don't have counter magic. But we'll just take Emrakul just because it's fun to make the opponent shuffle. See if we can get it up to a grape shot to try to tilt the opponent. I love that artwork. It's so good. Good. Cool. All right. So we're going to go into game 2. We're going to bring in all 3 copies of Hope of Girper. Trim our cantrip section. Turn one of the Burning Wishes into an Empty the Warrens. The reason I'm turning Burning Wish and Empty the Warrens is to play around Leyline of Sanctity. You know what? You want to know what? Actually, since we're on the play, I mean, we're on the draw, I'm not going to do that. It does leave our pants down against Leyline a little bit, but I found in the past that you can just force opponents to counter certain spells and still end up getting to a position where they can't do anything because they kept a mediocre hand just because of Leyline of Sanctity. Especially with the London Mulligan, sometimes people mulligan pretty aggressively for it, so the opponent does not have it, so it seems like we're all right. But since we are on the draw, I would rather have the Burning Wish than the Empty the Warrens, because the goblins, you know, I mean, they're a turn up from us, so goblins will be a turn slower. This Thoughtseize is a great draw. We would like to find another piece of mana, so we can fire it off next turn and ad nauseum next turn. So we're going to grab Underground Sea and Ponder. Well, Dark Ritual does that for us. Alright, so to play around taxing effects, we want to start off with Rite of Flame. I guess what we should have done, actually, is maybe we should have fetched a Black Source and independently cast Thoughtseize. But it looks like we got through anyways, so... So we'll take Spell Pierce. And we'll shove Big Daddy Ad Nauseam onto the stack. And then we'll just flip. And continue to run a Chain of Spells. I would like to get up to... what's going on? Okay, sorry about that. I'd like to get up to another Grape Shot just to own a piece of the opponent's mind where they are afraid of Storm. Just like mess with them slightly psychologically. Look, you're just going to get Grape Shotted. This is a service I like to provide to all my other fellow Storm pilots, as well as making the match a lot of fun for me. We might be a little bit short though. Oh, I forgot I sequenced wrong. I should have, instead of that Duress, I should have cast this Brainstorm because we knew there was a Dark Ritual, but we got lucky and drew a Lotus Petal, so that'll help a little bit. So they don't have any non-land cards in hand. Grape Shot. Boom. Cool. So we're going to jump back into the queue. We are 1-0, so I'll update the record section. Always nice to start off 1-0. We'll see. I mean, I don't have anything really against Mox Opal. I like the card a lot. I'm just wondering if this is going to make the deck a little less high variance, which is not necessarily something that I hate. So, we'll see. Something I've been wanting to play. I got a 5-0 with Anthony Laverde's list the other day. The difference between this list and that is 2 Mox Opal over Preordain, and over this Hope of Girper, third copy of Empty the Warrens. Since that, though, I've been experiencing some lump side of variance, so I kind of just am trying to minimize that a little bit. I think that list is great, and I highly recommend it. It's very, very good. But this is just something I felt like playing today, so this is what we're playing today. We're going to hold on to this. Interesting hand for sure. Probably going to try to make a move on turn 3. Though if the opponent taps out here, I'm probably going to brainstorm at the end of their turn and try to go on our turn 2. Okay, so we have a duress coming our way. So that means we're going to brainstorm in response and protect whatever spell we deem to be the most important to combo. This hand would be great if we were running Mizzix Mastery in the sideboard, because we could try to bait them into taking Ad Nauseam and then punish them for it. I'm going to try this. Hopefully they'll take Ad Nauseam. If they take Dark Ritual, which I don't blame them for doing, I'm going to be a little less stoked. But although this looks like Storm, right? So maybe this was a mistake to do it this way. They did take Ad Nauseam. Yeah, that might have been a little bit of a mistake. No matter. As long as we're not dead next turn, we'll be alright. Because we're going to try to set this up kind of crafty. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to have Burning Wish and Lion's Eye Diamond still is things we can do on the following turn. So Let's see. Cool. We could go for an Echo of Eons line here, but I have to be honest, I don't trust it. We're going to try to grinding station him, kind of. This is probably ad nauseum tendrils, though, so we could just die on this turn. And if that's what happens, we're just going to not even cry about it, not even be a little bit upset. We kind of set ourselves up into it. I wasn't really thinking on how I was, but I wasn't thinking in the context of hey, we might die next turn. That's not what I was thinking. I was thinking, oh, we have a duress. What's the most resilient thing we could do to win in the next few turns? But I wasn't thinking about, hey, you might be dead next turn. So that's a real concern here, and it wasn't something that I had the presence of mind to be concerned about because I'm a scrub. So sorry, just 1 second, I want to fix it. Okay, so that seems to be better. I got a lot of downlight coming on me, but at least we're not fraying out along the top of the along the top of the green screen. Okay. We're probably dead. Oh, look at that, a Thoughtseize. Fair enough. Well, that messes up my plan a little bit. Let's see. Let's preordain now. And hope we don't get hit with a Past in Flames line this next turn, which we really might. I think it's likely we die here, but so that wasn't really played. This game hasn't really been played the best by me. It wasn't overtly terrible either. I just chose a crap line for the matchup because we're about to die right now. Yep, we're dead. Past the Flames, Storm 7, Storm 8, Storm 9, Storm 10, Storm 11. Oh, wait. Okay, I see. Yeah, that was what I thought. For a second, it was a little bit weird, but it was just because of the way that the game was representing the mana that I was confused for a split second there. Cool. Yeah, whatever. That's all on me. I don't really have any excuses for that. We should have just hit the ad nauseum. We totally could have won that game. That's like literally that was all on me. So I take full responsibility for that. I took the wrong sequencing. Pretty easy. I'm just gonna do that. Run it back. We'll get this, and then we'll just easily take. Yeah, well, we'll get this one, and then we'll. No, it's not gonna be easy. We're gonna hard fight for the third one too. Little bummed. Definitely could have won that one. So. Do like double LED, but this hand could go nowhere. We'll try this one. Bottom right of flame. We'll ponder. So the opponent certainly could be representing Flusterstorm, but it is what it is. I put us in the position, so it's all my fault. Cool. Um, Another LED. Cool. So, really unfortunate that we just kind of threw away that game one, but we did get game two. Empty the Warrens is less good in game 3. So I'm going to take it out. It's hard for me to mulligan this because not everyone is a fan of the heavy discard hands in this matchup, but I kind of like it. But this hand could potentially do nothing. Hopefully we don't get turn 1. They're going to take our Brainstorm. Definitely could have won game 1, which means we probably would have gotten game 2 as well. And when we pass the turn back, the opponent could just kill us. So there's that. But whatever, I'm completely willing to just own up to my shortcomings on that because it's the only way to get better. I gotta be honest, I think I saw Trop and I was just thinking, rug, this is rug. And then they played duress and I'm like, oh, this is like, is this like bug depths? But it's like, Landon, Ant is a bug deck. What? Okay, so Thoughtseize coming across for our Rite of Flame, but we don't even care about that really, unless we draw Ad Nauseam itself. We're going to bluff a Flusterstorm by keeping this in our hand, and if they go to cast something, we're going to fetch this for blue. Something that's blue at least. So let's grab C, tap this, and then we're just going to sit here for an awkward amount of time. Just sit here for just a second, be weird, it's cool, just sit here. Make them sweat a little bit. Alright, then we're just going to hit undo. Sit here for a second. Add it again. Undo it really quick. Sit. Click OK. One has 2 cards in hand, but that's still enough to kill us. Alright, so we drew the actual Ad Nauseam. That Rite of Flame they took wouldn't have been enough, though. Alright, so this is kind of unfortunate because Ad Nauseam is in our hand, but I'm going to take an Echo of Eon's line. Actually, let's think. Oh, well, this is in our graveyard. This is going to be in our graveyard. Never mind, yeah. Yeah, we're taking an Echo of Eon's line. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8. Wait, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This could potentially be 10, but we have enough to ad nauseum. But I want to make sure that the coast is clear. Cool. So it is. It doesn't matter what we take. It really doesn't. Let's take the Lotus Petal, whatever. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. We might. I think we actually have enough to just go straight for tendrils. So that's cool. One, two, three. There's a fourth Lotus. Double counting. So we got 4, yeah, 6. So we are good. I mean, like, I just want to be certain before we just grab Burning Wish. I mean, I counted it or whatever, but Tendrils of Agony on the stack. Got it. Cool. So we're 2-0. A little bit of a blunder in game 1 of round 2, but we're 2-0 nonetheless. as we wait for round 3 pairing. Biggest issue I have with this list is honestly the only 3 copies of Empty the Warrens. Against decks like Death and Taxes, I really like having another. I like being able to go all the way up to 3 Empty the Warrens in the main deck, but still having a wishable copy. But this has been fine so far, so whatever. Don't know unless you try it, right? We'll keep this. Gonna cast Burning Wish. Get Duress. Maybe we should have just tried to go there. Oh, Sylvan Library. Okay. That was actually a pretty good draw. So honestly, I think we're going to imprint Rite of Flame onto Chrome Mox, because I want to have Duress not be chained off of Dark Ritual. Okay, so we're playing against Shardless. Been seeing Shardless quite a bit the past week. One of the things about Shardless is classically, I mean, I don't really, like, I'm not trying to be pretending that I'm any type of authority on the Legacy meta, but typically when Shardless is doing well, it means that we are well positioned with the Epic Storm. So hopefully that ends up being the case. Ad Nauseam Tendrils has been very well positioned the last month and a half. Another trend is usually as the meta shifts for Storm to be good, Ad Nauseam Tendrils is typically the deck that is sees the advantage first, and then as the meta begins to adapt to Ad Nauseam Tendrils and high in representation, our decks approach at avoiding graveyard strategies and handling permanent based hate decks, and getting under Hymn to Torok and cards like that typically rise. So hopefully that'll be something we kind of see happen. Cool. So we got them on turn 3. We move into game 2. So in the past, decks like this accompany permanent-based hate. So I'm just gonna bring in Chain of Vapor over the Preordains. Since they're a black deck, I'm not gonna board up on Empty the Warrens, especially on the draw. On the play maybe actually, but on the draw, there's a high probability that they're a Plague Engineer deck. And I don't like overextending myself in those matchups, so that brings us to this. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Alright, well, we definitely keep this. Alright, so we're going to play this out and hold up Brainstorm to respond to discard. I'm going to cast it at the end of their turn here. See if we can find our own discard. We did. Well, traditionally they don't play taxing counters. Still, I'm going to sequence like so. If this gets countered, we're going to go for Empty the Warrens with Chromox. Like I said, though, they don't typically play the taxing counters because they're not good to cascade into. So really what we're worried about them having is like double force or something. Like a surgical extraction right here wouldn't be the end of the game for us. They can't really play things that aren't... the only reactive spells they can play are ones that aren't going to be tried to cast off the revealing from... okay, so they do have double force. So we're just going to meander through this turn. try to find more disruption and set up a combo in a couple turns. Like, we used some resources there, but we didn't use all of our resources, so we're fine. Well, if that's their permanent base hate, I don't really feel like we need to have Chain of Vapor in. Alright. Let's ponder. One, two, three. We're going to ponder again. I really want to find a dark ritual. Cool. All right. Excuse me. Yeah, excuse me. I literally just woke up, so I'm a little phlegmy in the morning sometimes. I sleep on my back for my shoulders, my posture or whatever. Because I have forward-facing shoulders, so I tend to slouch kind of a lot, so it helps me not wake up in a bunch of pain. But the drawback is that well, your sinuses are upside down, right? So, oh well, is what it is. All right. All right, so what I actually want to do here is cast this Duress by itself. We have a black source by combining these two cards, because we still have enough mana to combo because of that awesome LED rip. Oh, so not only, this is actually alluring. Interesting. Cool. So let's jump back into the queue, update our record section. Three zero. Cool, so we're sitting waiting for round 4. List has felt good. No complaints so far. We got to bring in all 3 hope against show and tell. Just is nice to be able to bring them in that matchup. Preordain hasn't really necessarily gotten in the way. I haven't missed Mox Opal yet. So all in all, so far, not too bad. Chilling, waiting. It is Sunday morning, so the challenge is going to start in probably like, well, it's 9 a.m. where I am right now. So in 2 hours, so we probably are experiencing a little bit of wait time in between rounds because I would imagine people aren't playing as much with anticipation. The challenge taking up their entire day. So, but hey, this is when I have time to run a league, so here we are. Hopefully we'll get this match. Keep this. This looks like a mirror match to me. I'll either take LED or an Infernal Tutor here. So, considering that so they only are seeing Ant cards, but considering that we're a Burning Wish deck, I actually think that LED is the correct take. Correct take. Sorry, I'm not trying to sound like a douche, you know what I mean? Like, it's correct. Like, whatever. I don't mean it like that, but if I was them, I think I probably would have taken LED there. So we have a couple choices here. I think what I'm going to do is Thoughtseize them and play out Lotus Petal and LED. We can Brainstorm if we really want off of Lotus Petal. Like if in response to discard if we really want to protect that Dark Ritual. Oh, okay, interesting. So this is not Ant. So we're going to get punished for exposing that this duel a little bit, but it's not the end of the world. I think we can bounce back from it. For some reason I thought the opponent was on Ant. This is not a mirror match. I wonder if they used to. I just remember seeing them in the past, and for some reason in my head that's what I had them on. Oh, well, we don't get punished ever. Well, they might have a daze, but if they have daze, we just go for Empty the Warrens. In fact, I think it's probably not even wrong to just go for Empty the Warrens, because if we because the first choke point we're going to see for daze to be effective is going to be actually on Ad Nauseam. Although being a black deck, they could be playing Plague Engineer. but they likely have less copies main deck. Just in case they drew days. It's a 2-turn clock with them being at 17. So we actually kind of hope this flips, but not a cantrip. With Thought Scour, I wonder if they're playing that new Gargoyle. You know, I forget, it's like it's a defender, but when you have threshold, you can attack with it, I think, is how it works. It's a flying, I want to say it's a 4/3 or a 4/5 or something ridiculous. Cool. So we got game 1. So we're just going to trim. Honestly, one of these preordains for empty the warrens and go back in. So we're going to keep this. We need some disruption, but this hand's great. I'm not trying to tempt fate. I think we can be, well, but if they draw a discard, then we're in a situation. I don't want to just run into force. I think we're going to be a little patient. Their discard's an issue, but I don't want to run into force, so. All right, let's try it. I'm playing Rite of Flame before Lotus Petal because it makes their Flusterstorm a Spell Pierce, essentially. That's fine. We've seen Surgical in their graveyard. We're hoping that they don't have another land and a Snapcaster or a Surgical in their hand to take our LEDs right now. That's really the only concern. Okay. I say we just try. Okay, so they have force. So they just had like a ton of permission. But the thing is the reason I'm okay with that is because we have so much mana. left, even though we did that, we can still combo if we draw another payoff spell. So to me, the drawbacks seem minimal. At this point, we can still win through this because we have Empty the Warrens in the deck. If we draw an Infernal Tutor, we can take an Ad Nauseam line where we can stop below the reach of their lethal and Empty the Warrens with enough goblins for a 1-turn swing. So I'm not gonna concede to that, where usually I would, but considering our current life total, I think we can afford to at least play it out. So now is where they kind of will start to take over the game if we don't draw a tutor now. So we're at a low life total, so this is pretty risky. So we need to keep that in mind the entire time we do this. Alright, so we need to not flip the other Empty the Warrens. We need some 0-mana artifacts. Alright, so I don't want to stop. We are pretty far off, but the thing is we can't flip another one. We've got to get lucky, super lucky on this brainstorm. Like, it's not even there. We don't get this. We've lost, but I just want to do everything we can. If we pull this off, I mean, if they draw a bolt or something, though, if they draw a bolt or something, we're in trouble. Man, that was awesome. We are 4-0. So we're going to be playing for the 5-0, which is sweet. I don't even care if we lose because that, like, I know that we had our little blunder. Looks like my computer's being weird for a second. I'm sure this will correct itself. We had a little blunder in the first game of the mirror match that we played in round 2. But overall, this league honestly has been great. We've been playing well, and that last game right there, we won essentially at 1 life through surgical extraction off of that ad nauseum. Like, that was just, we can't keep this. We can keep this though. We want to flip this off of the ad nauseum we're about to take. So we want it in our library. You know, maybe the opponent has forcible right now, but we absolutely go for it, right? Cool. So we start flipping. Cool. So we'll cast our petals. Alright, so we win. We don't know what the opponent's on, so we're just going to submit the same 75. Go back in, or the same 860, I mean. No changes to the 75, is what I meant to say. Feeling good, though. We're playing for the 5-0 and we're up a game, so that's always a good feeling, you know what I mean? To just be at this vantage point. If we don't win the next 2, if somehow we just lose these next 2, whatever. This has been awesome. This has been fun. I can't say a single negative thing. I can say a couple constructive things, like that misplay in game 1, round 2. But we've done a lot of good things this league. Very happy with how things have played. This hand's keepable. Yikes. So we should have sideboarded. But it's okay, we're on, we can't really change. We didn't know that. Like, we just straight up did not know that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to brainstorm, like, as a Hail Mary to hit a Lotus Petal and a Thoughtseize. So that didn't happen. We don't want the duresses. I mean, it's likely that we're not winning this game. It's likely we're going to have to try to fight out game 3. Because most likely they'll be dropping a Hay Bear that we won't be able to deal with this turn. Yeah, you want to know what? Well, we'll play it out a little bit. We don't have a red source, but we can certainly get one. And we could... Oh, wait, but we can't even Grape Shot because of We can't get grape shot because of the mother, though, so we're just going to concede. Alright, so this is the matchup I've been actually a little bit worried about with this sideboard. But I'm not going to let that shake me. I already know what our outs are and what we're bringing in, because I've thought about this pretty in-depth. So I don't really need to do much pondering about it, pun intended. This is what we want. Keep. I think we'll be able to win with this hand. I think we're about to get a 5-0. I really do. We're going to imprint the Brainstorm on Chromox. We're going to fetch Swamp so we can Thought Seize next turn. Just making sure that was the Swamp. So this is a little bit low storm, so they might be able to stabilize. Like, very seriously, they might be able to stabilize. But because we can Thought Seize them, and maybe keep them from stabilizing, because they mulligan to 5, I'm not mulliganing this hand. Turns out we should have brainstormed, because... Alright. Well, we're going to take Recruiter. We probably should have brainstormed and gotten more storm, but I didn't want to punt the game away. So maybe that was a misplay. That was a great draw. That was a really good draw. So we just hope they don't draw a creature right here. I mean, I think we're still going to get this either way, but... Why is my computer being so wonky today? It's annoying that this keeps happening. I'm gonna have to probably defrag after I finish this. Hopefully it hasn't messed up the recording at all. It's happened like 3 times, right? I don't think there's much that can save them. 5, oh baby, 5, oh baby. Pretty sweet, right? Like, that was cool. List felt good. That was really awesome. I really can't stress how much I appreciate you guys hanging out. Just gonna pull this all over here so we can do final thoughts. So I don't know if preordain is the answer. I definitely like Mox Opal. I like Mox Opal a ton. But I just wanted to try this configuration and see if we could cut down on variance a little bit. The deck seemed to draw great. I'm not sure if this is necessarily what I would recommend. This is just something I really wanted to try. This is literally the very first league I ran with this configuration. Like I mentioned, this is a configuration that was visited right after Jataxian Pro was banned, but I haven't tried this since the London Mulligan became a thing. So, well, once again, thank you so much for checking out the content. Thank you so much for supporting me, the website, the entire Storm community. And until next time, keep storming.